Hello everyone, this is Nancy Hibbert. I'm in my workspace here, Moncton, New Brunswick. Today is December 8th, 2025. So my New Year's resolutions for 2026, I want to be nice to my husband, I want to be nice to my mother, and I want to figure out how to make money with my writing. So that's what I'm doing the video for. I've been writing for a while. I have some books published online. So it's under Nancy Hibbert. I printed one just as a sample for myself. So this is a book that took me a long time to write. It's a fantasy story set pagan going to Christianity, with the Christians actually being good. So that's a different take on that. The world becoming a little bit better as it becomes Christianized. So I can just read a little bit of the book and see if people find it interesting. Okay. So this is chapter 1. So the stories from the Dark Ages before the unification of lands under the legendary King Arthur, year unknown. So this is a fantasy story. It's not based on any real life history. I just had to set it someplace, so that's what I did. Chapter 1. The hotter the day grew, the sleepier Pixora became. She lay in the smooth stretch between the roots of her favorite wizen tree, staring up at the elm's thorny branches. The branch ends were like fingers pointing to the faraway paths gods could travel from their sky palaces to the muck and mud of the earthly realm. A barley fly landed on Pixie's arm, and she swatted it away. Staring, she found the staircase of Lazuti's gems. The gods climbed down to choose the mightiest of warriors to guard their sky-blue palaces. Pixie did not remember her father, but knew he had been so chosen, as had many other Dalradian folk, especially menfolk. As she did not kill the fly, it continued to buzz about her head. Before shutting her eyes, Pixie looked in the potato fields for her mother. With both hands, Amma hauled a bucket that Pixie could have stood in and sloshed water every 2 steps on each of the craggy plants poking up from the dust. Sighing, Pixie curled an arm about a tree root and rested her head on an elbow. But something was odd. People were standing and walking away from watering pails. Older children were jumping and bliss dancing in jagged circles. What were they shouting? Blessed be Our Lady Liege? There, her cousin Rufus shouted. I see them. Nearly a man, her cousin had freckles from chin to forehead, rooster red hair, and work-hardened hands. He pointed at the faraway road, and the young dashed off. Wanting to see too, Pixie scrambled up, but they were too fast. Where was her mother? Grown folk were clumped together, searching faces for dirt. Women shook skirts, and from a sack, this blue, bright as a jay's wing, was lifted. Had it fallen from heaven? Pixie had only ever seen cloth of black, brown, or gray, but women were draping blue and gold scarves about their heads and over their skirts. The familiar ridges of her mother's warm fingers wrapped about Pixie's hand like an unbreakable hug. Amma pulled her, and they ran for the castle. On reaching its shade, her mother yanked her back, and Pixie scowled. She wanted to see more than big people's legs, and blinked up accusingly. But the overwhelming happiness on Amma's face stole her words. Smiling as she never did, her mother raised their hands to a point, leaned to her ear, and whispered, Look, they're coming. Following their point to the far distant line where the sky touched the earth, Pixie saw a carriage being drawn by horses. Everyone from all village clans was standing in front the castle ground, staring, pointing, and whispering as though enchanted. Pixie, afraid of breaking the trance, dared not ask, but what sort of carriage was this? It looked made of yellow wood, but no tree was that large, and was pulled by 4 great yellow horses. Blue ribbons were braided through the horses' golden manes, and the sky-colored silks were wrapped about its 6 wood posts and stretched tent-like above, hiding whoever rode inside. Its wheels were as tall as Pixie's shoulders and looked a mix of wood and pewter. Bells chimed with the horses' steps, and she could see dirt being broken beneath their mighty hooves. Who'd be inside such a carriage? When the carriage stopped, the coachman turned to the crowd, tipped his floppy hat to them, and grinned. The crowd grew silent when he jumped down and hurried to open the door. A man, seeming to wear every color, got out. Green covered his head and hands. The jacket atop his dark red tunic was the color of a meadow. His trousers were the color of the sky. There was blue about his neck, and a high ruffled collar beneath that was the yellow of gold. He turned his meadow back to them and assisted a woman, dressed entirely in black, out the carriage. The woman did not look near so interesting, but everyone cheered on seeing her. There was something odd about how the man looked at them. Not exactly angry or mean, but she sensed unfriendliness. The woman looked friendlier, as she attempted to smile at them, but also a bit afraid. Pixie hoped she was not afraid of the man. Then she was watching their backs as they turned and went into the castle. Pixie felt heaviness fall over the crowd, as though sadness had poured from the sky. Her eyes were drawn to the most beautiful of them, Ravenna of the Rathbone clan, dressed unlike herself in a long flowing yellow gown, trimmed with blue, a matching ribbon through her hair. A gust of wind tossed back her black hair and streamed out the ribbon. Rathbone used to be the highest clan. In her hands, Ravenna of Rathbone held a fancy carved wreath with many twisting flowers. It was a gift that, had it been accepted, would have brought good fortune. That it remained in Ravenna's hands was very bad luck indeed. So this is just my introduction to the peasants living in the village, and it's the queen that's returning to her kingdom after a war that killed her family. She's the only one left alive to try and restore order to the place. So, anyway, if you have questions or comments, please put them in the comments. Thank you.